the 4 stages of psychological development at which a person's character is broken for good. Take a look around. We are surrounded by adults who, in reality, never truly grew up. One obsessively controls every speck of dust in the office and is ready to hang himself over a penny, turning the lives of those close to him into a stifling hell. Another is forever whining, demanding pity, dependent on other people's opinions, and can't get out of debt. The third person paranoically expects a knife in the back and doesn't believe a single word, building relationships on the principle of striking first before you are betrayed. Sigmund Freud revealed the secrets behind these deviations in his 3 essays on the theory of sexuality. Our entire character is not purely genetics and not really a conscious choice, but rather just a set of scars and fixations acquired subconsciously up to the age of 5. A child's psyche goes through 4 truly critical stages, and if at one of them the parents put far too much pressure on or simply didn't give enough, you remain a psychological hostage to childhood patterns in an adult body. Today we will find out at which of these 4 stages your character was permanently damaged. Stage 1 is the oral phase. Stage 1 is the oral period, which lasts for the whole of the first year of a person's life. The baby's whole world at this time is compressed to the size of the mother's breast. Through the mouth, the child receives not just food, but safety itself, love and warmth, calm, and a connection with the world. If the mother fed the baby at the very first whimper, smothered them with excessive overprotection, or, on the contrary, was emotionally cold, leaving them to cry for hours in the cot because of a rigid feeding schedule, the oral stage breaks down and a fixation forms in the psyche. A person grows up with a terrifying perpetual subconscious hole of deficiency inside. In adult life, such an orally fixated type is a profoundly codependent infantile person. He has a panicky fear of being alone, and he spends his whole life searching for a psychological mummy in the form of partners or bosses who will come and gradually fill his inner emptiness. But the most cynical thing is that his subconscious continues to demand oral gratification in a physical sense. That is exactly where compulsive overeating, bulimia, alcoholism, smoking, and the habit of chewing one's nails or pentops come from. Such a person tries, quite literally, to eat away, drink away, or smoke away their deep childhood fear of the world. They remain an eternal infant who demands, unconditionally, love from those around them, but is not capable of giving anything themselves. Stage 2. The antiphase. Stage 2 begins between the ages of 1 and 3, when the child encounters. Freud referred to this as the anal stage. Here, the child begins to realize for the very first time that they can control their own body and also the products of its bodily functions. They can offer these to their parents and receive praise, or they can instead hold them back and stage a deliberate revolt against their parents' will. If, during this period, the parents were overly strict, punished the child for any mess, shamed them, and demanded perfect cleanliness throughout, the psyche can break down. An anal retentive character type then develops. In adult life, this is the classic stifling perfectionist, miser, obsessive pedant, and control freak. The subconscious, childish desire to maintain control over their own body turns into a total mania to control everything around them. Money, time, colleagues' plans, and even their partner. Such a person is deeply terrified of chaos, spontaneity, or uncertainty. At home, everything has to be laid out with strict precision and order. He counts every single penny, hoards piles of old junk, and never truly relaxes. His pathological greed, this nasty trait, is a subconscious fear of losing control over the world and ending up shamed all over again, just as in childhood. Stage 3, the phallic phase. This third stage lasts from about 3 to 5 years when the child makes a significant discovery. He becomes conscious of the anatomical differences between the sexes. The phallic stage then begins, during which the central drama of the human psyche plays itself out. The boy subconsciously begins to perceive his mother as his first sexual object and his father as a powerful, profoundly frightening rival for her attention. The Oedipus complex emerges. The boy is terrified that his father will find out about his secret thoughts and punish him. In girls, during this period, the mirror process of the Electra complex is set in motion. The mother is resentful, and there is an unconscious rivalry with her for any father. If this stage is not gone through in a healthy way, the adult personality turns into a testing ground for severe neuroses. A man with an Oedipal fixation will spend his entire life obsessively proving his masculinity through aggression, costly toys, and a never-ending, indiscriminate succession of women. He unconsciously competes with his father, continually trying to win over the very finest woman. Yet no partner remains by his side for very long because she still is not his own mother. Girls with this fixation often grow up to become rather manipulative, tough-minded women who, unconsciously, choose weaker men specifically in order to dominate them. The fourth stage is known as the genital phase. This fourth stage is also widely referred to as the genital period, and it most often begins during adolescence, after a long and generally calm period of relative quietness. Hormones rush to your head, and all the pent-up sexual energy begins. Libido should grow, to come out and be directed towards a real partner in the outside world. This is the stage of true psychological maturity, when a person learns not only to take selfishly, but also to give, to respect other people's boundaries, to build deep relationships, and to take responsibility for their choices. But if there were genuinely serious fixations and traumas throughout the previous three stages, the genital phase can collapse entirely. The psyche blocks the route out into lived reality. Energy, libido, simply cannot reach real people. It curls back inwards, into the mind itself, and slips into perversion, neuroses, or virtual substitutes. A person becomes firmly stuck in pornography addiction, retreats into total narcissism, and begins to take pleasure, not from real, living love, but from mental masochism, suffering, and gradual self-destruction. He is physically incapable of building a normal family because his psyche is stuck in the textures of his unresolved childhood conflicts. In conclusion, I want to say your character is not a monument cast in concrete, nor is it a matter of fate. This is a rather complex construct assembled from your earliest childhood fixations, fears, and parental prohibitions. And while you continue throwing a tantrum at your partner over an unwashed cup, or dulling your anxiety with yet another cigarette, believing that you are simply that sort of person, you are in fact being driven by a frightened 3-year-old child, locked away deep within your subconscious. Stop putting all the blame on your partner's circumstances or on supposedly bad genetics. Face the truth directly. Find the exact point where your psyche once broke, and then go through that whole path of growing up all over again. Stop being a hostage to childhood trauma. Take control of the world and yourself. Thank you for watching to the end. Speak soon.